What's going on, Leo? And welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Justin here, and I hope you're having a fantastic month so far. Leo, can you guess what time it is? But for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and shares. Your support really is just amazing, Leo. And it keeps us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy Harris has brought you here. We are in for an amazing journey. And let me tell you why, Leo, because it is Celestial News Monthly. My favorite time of the month. So, Leo, with this monthly spread, whenever your ruler moves into a new sign, we're going to talk about where the planets are at, and we're going to see how we can work with the energies. And just so y'all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one, so take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me, and never force a reading on a situation, okay? So with all that being said, let's jump into it. Your space has been cleansed. Crystals. Feeling lovely. Just big energy all around here, Leo. So, Leo, I have oracle cards with the zodiac signs that the sun and the planets are in. We're gonna and actually where the moon's at. We got an eclipse happening here, Leo. But we're gonna talk about where each of them. I'm gonna pull an oracle card for each of them. Let me get myself together. Oracle card for each of them with this deck, and then we will get some details with the tarot. But before we jump into the thing, Leo, these readings that I do, they're not gender specific readings, so apply these energies to people as they make sense for your situations, okay? And in case if y'all were curious, the decks that I'm working with, I've included. I'm getting it together. I'm gonna add this one. You're the first one. I'm gonna add this one on, and I included links for them down in the description box below. So definitely check that out if you're interested. But also down below are some links for some other readers that I like watching, Leo. So definitely check them out. Very intuitive group. I think you would really enjoy them. But let's talk about this big old party that Libra's throwing. Because you got the sun that's going to be entering Libra. You got Mercury that's going to be in Libra. And then we're going to have a new moon solar eclipse that's going to be happening in Libra as well. So Libra's throwing a real jam-packed party there, which I wouldn't expect anything less from them. But let's talk about your ruler first. Because with the sun entering Libra, the sun's going to enter on the 23rd of September and about 2:50 in the morning. That's going to be Eastern time, and we'll be there through the 23rd of October. And with this, Leo, especially for you, whenever the sun moves into a new sign, you really do take on the flavor of that sign. So you're going to be feeling more of that kind of Libra energy. But, that sort of like, Libra's very diplomatic, very, can be a little indecisive sometimes, considering they weigh all the options. But you may notice you're feeling a little more charming too, a little more balanced, a little more fair, harmonious energies. But this really is a great cycle for connecting with others and appreciating beauty. And I feel like with especially like the appreciating beauty part, I feel like this is a great energy for you as well, being such a creative sign, just naturally being associated with the with the fifth house and being associated with the sun, to appreciate the beauty that you can create as well, Leo. And Libra being Venus ruled, they're very artistic as well, bringing balance and harmony and beauty and aesthetics to the world. So you really can I feel like really enjoy this energy, Leo, and really just kind of like, it's similar to like when Venus was in Leo. It can be in a very kind of creative type of space. I really feel like you can really kind of be prolific during this time, and however you channel this, through cooking, through art, through dance, through woodworking, through music, whatever that's looking like there, Leo. But also you'll maybe be able to see, because Libra is a very diplomatic sign, you're going to be able to see all sides to every situation, kind of really weigh out all the options there. So utilize that to your advantage there, Leo. Now, with this new moon solar eclipse that's going to be happening in Libra, that's going to be happening on the 14th of October. And yeah, so we're a little bit later in the season. But with it happening in Libra, this is a great energy for examining all the relationships in our lives, and letting go of any imbalanced situations. So if we're noticing that there's a lot of, any sort of like inharmonious energy in our relationships, and there's something that we can't seem to repair, then this might either need to be an energy of putting up some boundaries, or we might need to even possibly think about parting ways there. So just something to think about there. And last little bit here. Then you got Mercury that's going to be entering Libra on the 4th of October and will be there through the 22nd of October. And with this, Mercury does very well in an air in air energy, considering one of their the signs that they rule is Gemini. And with this energy, this is like diplomacy kind of takes center stage. So, Mercury deals with how we think and how we communicate. So you're gonna notice that you're gonna be really great kind of like mediator type of energy. I feel like conversations are going to be way more understanding and way more kind of thoughtful than they normally are. So really work with this energy with Mercury. But also this really is great for creating more harmony in our relationships. So if we notice any kind of dissonance, again, great mediator energy, kind of pull things together. And communication really kind of comes to the forefront here. Because Libra's about those one-on-one relationships, whether that be in love, in friendship, in family, in business, just any sort of things along those lines. So you might be feeling a little more social than normal there, Leo. But the nice thing also too about this energy, considering that Libra is so very kind of collaborative energy, depending on where your Leo placements are at, this is going to be forming a sextile with your sign. And sextiles right after trines are very fortunate energy, very compatible. The compatibility is nice between like fire and air signs. Very easy flowing, but the energy is more passive. It's not very dynamic, so it's something that you're going to need to put in a little work there. It's like the aces for me in tarot. They're like their potential. But if we don't do anything with them, then they're just going to kind of sit there, Leo. So, take this chance. Great time to, maybe do some co-creation, whatever that's looking like there. But let's see what your oracle card is for this one there. Oh, and look at all this air energy going around here. Because you got the first card of Geminis, which is Sapphire card. And with this card, this is a card of mental force, spiritual insight, hope and faith, wise judgment, power and strength, kindness, life of the party, extroverted, motivate, precious, valued, holy, divine favor, and revered. And the energy that's coming through here, Leo, is the wise judgment. And so I feel like for this month coming up, I feel like this is a great energy for you to kind of like, just to really kind of be to like really kind of practice awareness, and not that you aren't already aware, Leo, but is to really utilize that judgment. If something doesn't feel right, really kind of take a moment and weigh all of your options first. I feel like before we're making a move, it's not to say that we can't jump on something, but we just want to be mindful, I feel like, of doing anything that's impulsive or anything along those lines. Really just kind of whether this is like signing a document with maybe like a business partner, or maybe going with a new job, or even like getting into a relationship. Really kind of trust that intuition. If something doesn't feel right, again, it may not be that we just completely take it off the table, but I do feel like this is a great energy for you to just like exercise a little more kind of pause and really sort of like, before I consider this, like, how's this going to be mutually beneficial? Like it's just a little something I feel like to kind of think about there, Leo. But yeah, let's get some tarot on this and get a little more details. I tell you, every month that I bust out this deck, I always forget how long these cards are. And it's just like, right, I need to just shuffle these regularly so I can just stay in practice. Alright, Leo, let's see what's going on here. Oh. Alright, Leo. So you have the Five of Swords, the Five of Pentacles, the Knight of Cups, and then you have the Judgment card here. And interesting, Leo. So let's start with the Five of Pentacles here, because I feel that maybe for some, the Five of Pentacles can be like a card of like, it can be like a card of like deprivation, possibly, like one aspect. And I feel like of kind of feeling and it can almost, I'm almost getting like there's this sense of lack that's coming through. There's almost like this sense of like poverty. Not to say that you're going to run out of money or anything along those lines, but I feel like it's like the Five of Pentacles and the Five of Swords is giving me just like being kind of aware of the opportunities that are presented to you, making sure that they are in your best interest. Because I feel like that maybe you might be presented with something that may sound exciting on paper. It might be, or even with like a relationship or something, because the Knight of Cups is a very romantic figure. And we'll talk about that in a second, but I feel more so like on a passionate standpoint. It just feels like that it's like something may seem exciting for you in the moment there, but I feel like we'd want to be aware of just like sort of like short term type of opportunities, and but as opposed to, or like that instant gratification compared to like that stuff that's compared to things that are coming in like the long term there, Leo, if that makes sense. Because I feel that there is and I mean, considering that we had wise judgment coming through, I'm just really kind of taking this literally on the judgment aspect. Really kind of like paying attention to your judgment, and if something in your gut doesn't feel right, not to let the other opinions of others kind of sway you into something that your heart doesn't feel like it's really wants to follow there. Because I do feel like that if we're not careful with that, that can kind of change things for, might put you in a rough situation for a little bit. Especially when we don't listen to that intuition there, just Gemini energy, considering all sides of the story there. But I'm also even kind of feeling that in love, maybe if this is something that we've been feeling a little alone in and things along those lines, is to not just, I feel like, just sort of settle on any sort of like offer and things that happen to come your way, because again, we may get that satisfaction in that moment, but if we're looking for something long term, that's going to get into, because we got some Scorpio energy that's starting to peek through there. But if we're not thinking, the Knight of Cups for me is Scorpio energy, and we got to think about things long term. Now, if you're looking for like flings and things like that, have at it, Leo, because again, Libra is can be a sign of like romance and things, so they are about relationships. But I feel like sometimes that need for relationships can, we end up sacrificing, right, kind of flipping over there. We end up sacrificing a little bit more than, or feel like giving a little bit more than we're receiving. So just feel like something to kind of pay attention to there, Leo. See what else is going on here. Interesting. All right, so you also got here the Three of Pentacles, the Fool, and then the Emperor. And yeah, I really do feel that there may be, just for some, just again, be kind of mindful, I feel like, of maybe like people who not necessarily kind of like strong arm you, but kind of come on maybe a little strong, maybe a little forceful, trying to get you to take a new opportunity or take a leap of faith when you don't have all of the facts there. And this might be something too with the Five of Swords. If you're not sure about something, then to get together with some others, with this Three of Pentacles and the Five of Swords here, and kind of like discuss this stuff. See if you know someone who has a little more expertise on this thing. Let's say if this is like, maybe there's a certain contract that we're getting ready to sign, or maybe there's something we're doing with legal matters or anything along those lines. But before we're jumping into new things with the Fool here, and because even just thinking with the Emperor, this is Aries energy, and Aries on a lower vibration can be a little impulsive sometimes. We do want to be mindful of that stuff, because the Emperor is the fourth card, and the fours can deal with like stability and things, and I just feel that we want to make sure that if we're making these decisions, we want to be confident in our actions there. Okay, right. Dope. With that, Leo, nice little start there. Let's get a little tea, and then let's talk about Virgo energy. Because Venus, the Empress, she's going to be moving into Virgo, because she's been chilling in your sign for a little while. But she's going to be moving into Virgo on the 8th of October and will be there through the 8th of November. And with this energy, Leo, the Empress is going to work. This is a hard working placement for the Empress. But this is a great energy for figuring out what's working in our relationships and what isn't. But also, the Empress deals with the Empress. Venus also. I'm just like, I always, every time I talk about Venus, that's all I always refer to her as. But Venus is also can deal with like our finances and luck and things. And when you think about luck compared to Virgo sign, Virgo deals with like our jobs, our day to day routines, and things along those lines. So this could be a great opportunity if we've been wanting to kind of advance in our careers, or kind of look for yeah, just like to even improve our skill sets, and maybe or something along those lines. So great energy for that as well. But this is really great too for just kind of focusing on like more sort of practical matters. And it's not to say that you can't find love, but it's just like now we're kind of getting a little more to on the working kind of aspect. Because even like with love, we may have a more kind of discerning eye when it comes to the relationships that may kind of come into our sphere, whether this be in love or in business or otherwise. So very dope placement for I feel like Venus to be. But let's get some tarot on this and get some details, or get an oracle on this. Thank you. All right, Leo. So you got the second card of Sagittarius, which is the dice card. And remember, we were talking about taking risks there, Leo, so let's just be mindful. But this is a card of gamble, taking a risk, luck, playing games. Chances are, roll with it, random results, win, lose, uncertain outcome, playing the game, potential, fate, and what happens next. An energy that's coming through here, Leo, is the uncertain outcome. And I feel like for some, with what's coming up here, I feel that, again, just consider how your energy kind of started off. I feel like you really are in an energy of just, again, being mindful of the people that we're kind of working with or the opportunities that are coming through. But I am kind of getting on the flip side, when we were talking about the indecisiveness of Libra, because they do have a way where they do weigh all the options. Sometimes they tend to overthink things in a way that they'll weigh all the options into a sense where they won't do anything. It's just like, well, this is a lot. And it's just like we let that uncertainty lead to stagnancy. And I feel that we don't, where, of course, we want to use our judgment, but I feel like we don't want to let opportunities also pass us by. We were talking about with that sextile energy earlier. So I feel that if we've weighed all the options and things seem like things can go the direction that you want, I say take that chance, take that risk. And even if things don't quite work out exactly how you plan, because what in life actually does, there's always going to be like hiccups and things along the way. But I do feel that there is an opportunity for you to kind of take charge here with the Emperor and be kind of in control of where this, of what opportunities you are taking, and just being uncomfortable with the uncertainty, not to, because even just thinking with Sagittarius energy, that can be, they tend to see the big picture, and sometimes that could lead to even like overthinking. So just something I feel like to just kind of pay attention to there, Leo. But let's get some tarot on this. Thank you. All right, let's see what's going on here. Oh, all right, I guess we're actually going to talk about that next. But interesting here, Leo. So you have the Knight of Pentacles, the Six of Wands, one of your cards, and then you have the Lovers and the Tower here. And I feel like with, and that's interesting that you got both Aries and the Tower, Mars, their ruler. And I feel like with the Tower, I'm getting a sense of, for some, I feel like there's this energy of needing to, if you do have, again, this opportunity that we've considered all of our options, things are feeling right, your heart's resonating with it, go for it. Try not to overthink this thing. I feel like the universe, it feels like this month might be teaching you how to like intuitively intuitively make decisions here, to not to just kind of really sort of listen to those insights. And again, it's like we're having a game plan with the Knight of Pentacles, but the Knight of Pentacles is considered the slowest moving knight of the knights, and I feel like we don't want to drag our feet on certain because of an uncertain outcome, because even when something is promised to us, we get this like great opportunity of like success and things along those lines. There can be hiccups along the way. Let's say you get offered a new job and but it requires you to move to a new place, and where that sounds all great, you're going to get this pay increase, but we may have problems with as far as like moving, maybe something gets lost, or maybe a deal may fall through, or maybe things get delayed. And actually we're going to talk about that next with these next couple of energies. So I feel that it's this energy of taking actions, but considering all of the pros and the cons as well of what could possibly happen. So that way, even when we're caught off guard with like different delays and restrictions or challenges and things along those lines, it's like at least we kind of planned for that stuff. I feel like it's one thing to just be afraid of those things, but it's just like, how are we going to take action, and what decisions are we going to make here with the Lovers when things go down, just to have like to create this like as much of a safety net as we can, Leo, because it's like there are so billions of different outcomes and things that can go wrong. And it's just like, if we even just like thinking with like astrology, it's like when you're going to like, when I like kind of look at like chart analysis and things, it's like if we were to plan like everything, like I say with like this retrograde season, it's just like where things, yes, are in a reflective period and things along those lines, that doesn't mean that we can't take action in the meantime. We just have to be a little more calculated about it. But I do feel overall that if we were to, again, trust that wise judgment, be uncomfortable with the unknown, and really kind of connect, I feel like with that inner voice, that your higher self and things along those lines, then we're gonna get to success there, Leo. Jupiter in Leo. That's what what the Six of Wands is, and gonna lead to that expansion, that growth, and you're gonna learn a lot of things along the way as well. But I dig that, Leo. Let's get them in a ruler over there. All right. Now let's talk about some maybe some more sort of challenging energy that's going to come your way there, Leo, because you do got a couple tougher aspects that are going to be coming your way. Because let's talk about, since Mars wanted to come out here so bad, let's talk about Mars. Because Mars is going to be entering the other sign that they happen to rule over as well, along with Pluto here, the Judgment card, but Scorpio. And Mars is going to enter. I know, I'm so excited. Mars is going to, why, I don't know. But Mars is going to enter Scorpio on the 11th of October and will be there through the 24th of November. And this is a very strong placement for Mars, considering one that it is one of the traditional rulers of, it's the traditional ruler of Scorpio. And this is a great energy for you have a greater ability of perseverance and being able to work through difficult challenges. And this is a good energy too to do some self-examinations as well, to kind of figure out why it is that we do the things that we do, as far as like, because Mars deals with like our energy, our taking action and things along those lines. And Scorpio is about bringing things, well, one of their aspects is bringing things to light. So, and they're a very observant sign. And I feel like this can be a great way for you to really kind of discover what motivates your actions here, Leo, and just examine, why we make the choices that we do. But also, it's you want to also be kind of mindful of, because this is Mars is can be pretty aggressive energy. In Scorpio, I feel like when challenged, they can be aggressive as well. So we just want to be mindful of that sort of like aggressive energy that's coming through there as well, there, Leo. But depending on where your Leo placements are at, this is going to form a square with your sign. And with squares, they can bring about internal conflicts, restrictions, challenges. It's inharmonious energy. You're trying to blend water, and in this instance, you're trying to blend water and fire together, and those energies don't necessarily match up. But when we're able to work with those energies, even with like the delays and things, it can be a very rewarding type of energy. It helps you pretty much, because squares to me are pretty much like tower moments in a sense. They show us how we can deliver when faced with choices and things along those lines. Just thinking with the lovers. So this can be one, and that's kind of nice too, that it is that Mars is in such a resilient sign, where because Scorpio deals with change as well, so it's got a lot of growth, considering that you got the Judgment and the Tower here, both the Scorpio's rulers. So I feel like can be a very interesting, very very interesting time for you here, Leo. I kind of like where this is going, but let's get an oracle on this. Oh, thank you. All right, a little more Gemini energy here. Oh, let's put this one back. All right, Leo. So you got the third card of Geminis, which is what is this one? The Broken Heart card. I keep wanting to call this the Jack and Diane card, but with this card, this is a card of heartbreak, interference, sorrow, grief, funk, sadness, mourning, distress, letdown, gloomy, hopelessness, regret, crisis, unhappy, hurt, bitter, devastated, and emotional pain. And energy that's coming through here, Leo, is the letdown. And with this energy, there might be for some, while we're going through this next month here, there may be some situations that might let you down, or maybe even some like people that let you down along the way here. I'm not sure if this maybe we were expecting a certain, if we have maybe different opportunities that are coming up, or, we got something planned and then it doesn't quite fall through. And that's actually reminding me of, that's interesting that it would kind of remind me of that. This card is, I'm thinking about the Five of Cups, which is Mars in Scorpio. And that can be a card of disappointments and things along those lines. And I feel that even if a situation lets you down, Leo, or if you come across something where it doesn't quite go Knight of Pentacles as you planned, where I feel, and this may sound a little cliche, but where one door closes, another one does open for you. You do get the opportunities that were meant for you will not pass you by. It may again not be what we pictured and at the moment, but when we do get into that, it could be a lot better than we even expected, or it could teach us something more that we hadn't even planned on, again, preparing for those uncertain outcomes, and it's not to say that we're in this sort of apathetic state where we're just assuming things are going to go wrong. It's just on the off chance life throws us a curveball, a little tower moment, we need to take a left turn. How do we pivot with that? Because even considering too, the oracle cards that you're starting off with, they're all mutable signs, Gemini and Sagittarius. And that's funny, both of those are opposite signs, but I feel try not to let, if we have any sort of disappointments or anything along those lines, get you in this place of, feeling defeated or feeling disheartened or anything along those lines. It's something that it's meant to strengthen you in the long run there, Leo. But let's get some tarot on this. There's Libra. Here. All right, let's see what's going on here. All right, Leo. So you have the Four of Swords, the Seven of Pentacles, the King of Pentacles, and then the Justice card here. And let's talk about Libra for a second. Because I feel with the Justice card here, that there is this energy of where even if we're let down or if things don't go quite our way, it's just, I feel that the universe always balances things out in the end. It's not just where you're just going to stay in this energy of, you know, where things are, again, where we're just met with challenges or met with disappointments or things along those lines. It's stuff that is lining up for a reason, but I do feel that if we do find ourselves coming up with energy or coming up in situations where we are constantly maybe let down, or that we have been, or we're just starting to notice a cycle, I feel like with the Seven of Pentacles being here, it's paying attention to really sort of pausing for a second and paying attention to those situations that we're investing in, and taking a rest, because after a while, you know, if we do happen to get to that state of disappointment, that can get us into this anxious sort of place, and then we're just sort of like start making reactive types of decisions, as opposed to being a little more calculated and keeping a little more stable, a little more balanced in our approaches here. But I'm feeling too with the King of Pentacles that there's this energy of, even when we're let down, it's just like, okay, how can we turn this situation to our advantage? You know, then this gives you a chance to tap into that creative side of you and really sort of get 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 into that like improv type of energy. And I've been getting kind of with the Lovers here that there is, I feel like, you know, the people that you connect with, you know, maybe over this next month or so, are going to be very important to, I feel like, the success that you get to. Or let me get a little bit more with this King of Pentacles. Yeah, I feel like there's something here with like like there's someone or yeah. Let me get a little bit more with that, Leo. Interesting. All right, so the King of Pentacles is clarified by the Nine of Swords, and then you have the Chariot. And I feel that there is this, with the Nine of Swords being here, to try not to let these, any sort of disappointments, or in which is tough, especially when we're in the middle of, let's say, a tower moment or something like that, to try not to let that be get in your head to where, you know, we get to this almost like panicked energy, to where we start like maybe trying to rush things, or trying to, it's like we're trying to piece together things in just like in sort of a hurried type of manner here. And I feel with the Chariot, there's something here with that because, you know, it feels like that there's going to be, when the moment that you're feeling down and that you're feeling stressed and that you're feeling this stuff, there's going to be this vehicle that kind of comes into, almost in a sense, kind of save the day. And this could be a person that, where, you know, if everything had went right with this one opportunity, then you would have missed out on something totally different. You know, I just feel that there's something here that a situation may not be as bad as it seems. It's just because it's going to get you thinking in a different direction, especially if we keep meeting these challenges. It's just like, oh, okay, there's this resistance here. How do I pivot around that? Maybe I need to go through a different approach. Maybe I need to connect with different people. And I feel like once we start thinking on that energy, like thinking towards that, this Nine of Swords is going to start being get alleviated here, and we're going to be able to relax a little bit more with the Four of Swords, and again be able to, it almost feels like this King of Pentacles is someone again who's coming in with an opportunity for you. So pay attention to the people that you meet up here, Leo. I feel like, just especially while the sun is in Libra. And this, you know, when the sun leaves, it's not that these energies just go away, but I just feel like while the energy is really potent like that, just pay attention to that, Leo. All right. Yeah, very interesting energy. All right, let's talk about another potentially kind of challenging energy here for you, Leo, because you got Taurus energy. You got Jupiter that's retrograde in Taurus, and both Jupiter and Uranus are retrograde in Taurus. Now, Jupiter, big old Papa, is going to be retrograde until pretty much the end of the year, the 30th of December. And with this, the energy does kind of slow down a little bit, and this gives us a chance to make sure that we're thinking about where we're investing in. Seven of Pentacles, and if we're investing in quality stuff that's going to give us that long-term security, because where Taurus energy can be a little bit slower, but they're about building a solid foundation and feeling secure in all aspects of their life. In our self-esteem, in our relationships, in our finances, and in all of that stuff, our health. So where it can be, it's an interesting little balance there, because then it's going to be kind of paying attention to what you've been investing into so far, because the thing with Jupiter is that he pretty much he brings abundance to everything that he touches, but in being in such a sensual sign as Taurus, where when I talk about their senses, I feel like their senses are more acute than the other signs. But sometimes with that Taurus energy, we can get a little overindulgent, in the pleasures and things. And I feel like you being ruled by the sun, being associated with the house of fun and joy and things, we want to be mindful of any sort of like hedonistic type of behaviors and things, because that stuff can come back and kind of bite us in the butt there, Lee, if we're not careful. So something to think about there with Jupiter energy. But then you got Uranus is going to be retrograde until the 27th of January next year, 2024. And with this energy, this is about embracing, new novel ideas and thinking about how we can contribute to society, and think about how we, are we in this, do we feel free in the things that we're doing there, Leo? Because Uranus deals with, they rule Aquarius along with Saturn. But this is, it deals with freedom and then the collective and things like that. So some things to think about there, Leo. But also, you may notice changes in like the stock markets and like maybe food prices and things along those. I mean, there's already stuff that's going on with that. But, Uranus brings about that radical change, and things are shifting quite a bit. And with Uranus being kicking it there for the next couple more years, we still got some things that are going to be changing. So just might even notice some stuff in the economy there. So this is a great, with both these planets being in Taurus, it's just, this is a game plan. Thinking about the future and making sure that we're just feeling safe in what's getting ready to come, in what's to come there. And again, just like with the Scorpio energy, this is going to be forming a square with your sign. So it's going to be a little tough energy for you over these, depending on where your Leo placements are with this energy. But again, it doesn't mean that you're not going to get abundance in things. It's just going to be a little more challenging than normal. But it's going to be all right, Leo. Let's see. Let's get an oracle card on this. Thank you. Oh, all right. Now we got some Libra energy in the mix here. Well, we already had some. But you got the first card of Libras here, which is Sword and Scales. And with this card, this is a card of truth, justice, due process, by the book, appeal, balance, make amends, law, integrity, cut to the chase, fair and square, fair play, equity, even keel, legal matters, and hear me out. All right, energy. All right, Leo. And the energy that's coming through here is the legal matters. And that's interesting. So I feel like for some, and it's not to say that you're going to get in trouble with the law. And that's interesting, because the Justice card can deal with the law as well. And maybe for some, we might be thinking about, this could even be like maybe we're thinking about signing some important documents, as far as maybe we're thinking about getting married possibly here, Leo. Or maybe there's something that has to deal with, again, maybe contracts with others, whether this be in business, or maybe there's some sort of, I'm even getting like maybe even like more important stuff, like maybe for some, if we're in a marriage or something, maybe we're thinking about doing some will things, or But I am getting too, if we are in some sort of legal things right now, or if we do find ourselves in dealing with some sort of legal matters, I feel we want to be mindful. Again, use your judgment about as far as like making any sort of impulsive moves and stuff. Where I know dealing with the legal system can be annoying. It can be worse if we do something to exacerbate that. So, let me get some tarot on this and get some details with that. Oh, whoa. Thank you. Oh, I love that. There's Taurus. So you have the Six of Swords, the Eight of Cups, and then the Hierophant here, Leo. I do feel like for some that maybe there's, if this is not a marriage, possibly, because I do feel that something new is kind of maybe happening here for some of you, then maybe this might be where we might be might be thinking about a divorce here, Leo, for some. And I don't feel like that there's divorce on the horizon, like if we're in a relationship. This feels like that this is something that may be brewing for a while, or maybe we're going through this process and it's just like we're dealing with a lot of stuff. Maybe there's some stuff we have to deal with as far as like maybe we have houses that are, yeah, because look at you, baller. Maybe we have some home stuff that we're dealing with, or maybe there's children involved, or maybe there's like joint bank accounts and things that we're needing to get separate or needing to get figured out. But I feel that this is something where, again, this is going to take this, that process. It takes time, especially when you do start getting into those sort of joint type of things. And I feel there is this need to make sure that we're being patient with this energy, and again, trusting our judgment, even though we may want to do something here to kind of, I don't know, to kind of move things along, or just like, I don't know, we might be feeling kind of emotional about this thing. We want to be careful about being reactive, because then that could potentially turn things against you, or not in your favor. And I'm even kind of getting to just being mindful of keeping track of just like documents and things along those lines, making sure that things are in order and organized and ready to present to these legal figures. But you know what? Maybe for some, and again, I feel like this is something we've been thinking about for a while. It's just like if we're not in the process, maybe we've been thinking about how we're going to initiate this thing. Because we might be afraid to kind of walk away from something because we may be so heavily invested, and it would be a lot of like legal things that would need to go to get into place here, but. I feel like it's gonna work out in the end, but again, it's gonna be something that I feel like it's just gonna take some time. And I'm even thinking maybe for some, just when I'm thinking about the squared situations, that maybe this other person we might be dealing with might be kind of cause some delays, or may try to stir up some drama possibly. And again, we just don't want to fall for any sort of things like that, Leo. Okay. All right. Let's put that there. Let's get a little tea, and then let's talk about Pisces energy. Because you got Neptune and Saturn that are retrograde in Pisces. Now, Saturn's going to be retrograde until the 4th of November. And with this energy, this is kind of asking ourselves if we've been, following our dreams and been wanting to, been making plans and things towards that. Because Pisces is very dreamy energy, very imaginative. I feel like that probably after your sign, Pisces would be another very creative sign for me. Yeah, it's incredible what they, since you know they're Jupiter and Neptune ruled, that what they, how they can access to that divine realm is really incredible. And I feel like that this is a great energy for you again too, Leo, especially with your ruler being in Libra. You know, for you to really tap into that creative potential of yours. And again, it doesn't have to be through art, let's say, or you're making a career out of it, you know, but just getting into that more type of spiritual type of space there, because that's another aspect of Pisces. They're psychic. I mean, and this is a great time to connect with source. Just even thinking with the lovers, you know, forming that tighter bond with yourself. And then that helps you to navigate the uncertainties of life with more ease, because now we're linked up with the divine matrix, and that helps us navigate through this 3D matrix here. And there's really something, there's, I feel like this is a very, very powerful placement, I feel like, for Saturn to be in such a loving and artistic and compassionate sign of Pisces. So yeah, just kind of pay attention to that, Leo. I feel like there's a lot of good work that can come with that. And then you couple that with Neptune, who's going to be retrograde until the 6th of December. It's like the veil has been opened up. And now we really, it's a powerful time for to do some introspective work and to really get in touch with your spirit guides, or however you connect with Source, God, Buddha, Jesus, the ancestors, higher self. You know, just yeah, really, really make that a point. But we also, with Neptune, that can deal with escapism, and since she's at home in Pisces, you know, we want to pay attention to things too. Oh, and just, yeah, that's fun even thinking about that. The Eight of Cups here is Saturn in Pisces, and we want to pay attention to things that are holding us back and that are lowering our vibrations and keeping us from realizing our highest potential there. So that's just another thing to be, just to keep in mind there, Leo. But let's get an oracle on the mix. And look at you. I like that card. Because you got the seventh card of Sagittarius here, which is the White Rabbit card. And with this card, this is a card of Spark of Curiosity, Gnosis, Spiritual Awakening. It's time, heeding the call, research it, inner knowing, light, dark to light, down the rabbit hole, and waking from the dream. An energy that's coming through here is the Gnosis there, Leo. And again, I do feel that there is this, because even this Sapphire card is a very spiritual kind of sort of card here, and I feel like it's there's this energy of you really tapping into that intuitive abilities of yours, because I feel like that you really are an underrated intuitive there, Leo. You really do, when you, I feel like, are connected to that creative aspect of you. And again, however that works, you know, you can be creative in math and science and in mechanics. It doesn't matter. Anything that you really feel where you're in that Zen type of space, I feel that that's where you really shine, and that you really can just do just the most incredible stuff there. But I feel like it's going to be something that we need to get into a practice of, and in making that sort of like a regular thing. You know, maybe if, let's say, you're working, let's say if you're working at like a maybe like a desk job, but you happen to, I don't know, like, I'm just looking at the Knight of Pentacles, maybe like riding horses in your downtime, you know, very intuitive with animals and things. You know, that's like just making that a thing, because that can take you from being a Knight of Pentacles at your job to becoming a king. I mean, yeah, we're gonna work our way up to king, but you be an emperor there, there, Leo, if that's what you, so if that's what you want. But I do feel like, even just with the, to even think about the Hierophant, there's, it's like the universe is trying to, because we're, I'm thinking about the relationship between like the Hierophant and the High Priestess. You know, the High Priestess is a very mysterious figure. She likes to keep those, her spirituality to herself, and you know, her connection with her, how she connects to source and things is very personal, is very sacred to her. Whereas the Hierophant is like a teacher. He loves sharing his knowledge and sharing this wisdom. And I even feel like for some that maybe we could even, if you're not looking for, you like, more so becoming a teacher, I feel. You know, maybe sharing in your craft, or maybe we're in this managerial position or something. We're getting ready to pass this thing on to the next person that's coming through, and keeping this trend that's going on there so that we can, I don't know, go on to that next chapter, whatever that's kind of looking like there. But let me get some tarot on this and get some details. Thank you. Oh, and there's your ruler. I love it. So you have the Four of Cups, the Three of Cups, the Knight of Swords, and then the Sun here, Leo. That's interesting, because with the Four of Cups here, and really the Three of Cups as well, I almost feel like that I almost feel like that there with the Three of Cups, because this could be a card of celebration. I mean, and the sun popping out, that just lit up this whole reading here. But I do feel like that for some, it's not that we don't appreciate the gifts that we have, but I don't, it's like I almost feel like that it's that we don't realize how much of an impact that can really have on your life there, Leo. How when you connect with when you put in that work with the Knight of Swords, and you know, make it the point to just like, again, to connect with, however you connect with your spirituality, that this can bring to you this ultimate sense of satisfaction here with the sun. And and really kind of not just bring a light to your life, but bring a life to those that you encounter here. Because I mean, you got what, Three of Cups, and then you have the Three of Pentacles here. And I feel like that even in this uncertainty, and then, you know, maybe this possible letdown and things, that it's like this work that the Knight of Swords is very future oriented, you know, thinking about what's coming next. But I almost feel like that, considering you got like one of a really fast night, you got a slower night there, there's this energy of presence that's kind of happening here. And just sort of let me get a little bit more with this Four of Cups here, Leo. Or it's like if we're not tuning into, all right. But it's like if we're not tuning into this, like our intuitive side here, it's like we're almost like gonna miss opportunities that could potentially come our way here. But let me see what's going on here. So the Four of Cups is clarified by the Two of Cups, and then you have the Page of Swords. And that's where I feel like it's like, pay attention to, I don't know, either like different ideas that come up for you with the Page of Cups, and make sure that we're doing things, I feel, that really kind of nourish the soul, you know, whether this is, you know, just anything that just raises your vibration through the roof there, Leo. You know, and tap into that, again, that creative ability. And again, it doesn't have to be, you can even be intuitive in law, let's say. You know, maybe you have like a secret little passion for that, and you just like, I don't know, like just something where you can, it may be, and let's say that is a thing, for example. Maybe this is something where we do, I don't know, even like a volunteer, I don't know like how that looks. Maybe we could be like I don't know if it's necessarily like we're changing careers to be a paralegal, but maybe there's even something where we can do some, I don't know if they have like volunteering with lawyers. I just a random thing that's popping in my head. But, and that might be something too. It's just like I feel like maybe some have put some ideas in our head, or maybe people have shared some things with you, and we just sort of like kind of brushed it off there because it's not necessarily part of our grand scheme. But I feel that if we were to explore that stuff, especially if it's something that's been popping up quite a bit. You know, you're noticing a trend. You know, let's say like, oh, Leah, you should think about doing this, or then you happen to see it on like a billboard, and then you have to see something resonates with you while you're reading a book, and it's just a thought just being there. Just pay attention to that, because I feel like something is trying to awaken with that there, Leo. Huh? All right, I like that. Looked you all intuitive, you Hierophant. All right, but let's get to the last energy here, which is Pluto in Capricorn. Because now Pluto's gone direct. Well, at least will be going direct on the 10th of October, and will be in Capricorn, I want to say until pretty much until like Aquarius season starts, about the 20, I want to say it's the 22nd, but I got it about towards the 20th or so there, Leo, of 2024. And with this energy, Pluto deals with, you know, just world change. You know, Pluto's one of those planets in our sign, and you know, in like our charts, deals with like more kind of generational aspects. It really affects the collective, but you know, this is very world changing type of energy here. Both Pluto and Capricorn are both about success and very power oriented. So this kind of forces us to kind of face our feelings about power, corporations, governments, and things along those lines. So there's going to be a lot of transformation into, and I mean there have been since Pluto's been in Capricorn, you know, a lot of changes in like governments and jobs and businesses and what power looks like, and it's like we're like trying to get in this way, in a sense, get our autonomy back in a way. You know, it's like the energies are starting to lean more towards the collective now, as opposed to like it's been more so kind of geared towards those higher up. So you know, there's going to be a transformation in social order here, and I'm excited to really see how this energy, especially once Pluto really gets settled into Aquarius, how that's going to really kind of change the game up. And I feel even down the line, and this is a little bit ahead of time, but I feel like especially around like 2025, this is going to lot of that's when the, you know, the big planets, or you know, the outer planets are going to start making some moves into new signs. You know, we got a lot of Aries energy that's going to be coming through, Gemini energy, and then but that's down the line. But it is, you know, thinking about what's to come, you know, because it is going to be, I feel like, a really transformative couple of decades, really, with Pluto being in Aquarius. But let's get some tarot, or get an oracle on this. Thank you. All right. Oh, it looks like we're getting ready to celebrate this change here, Leo, because you got the fourth card of Aries, which is the cake card. And with this card, this is a card of celebration. Look, you got your 3 cups here already. Cheers, Leo. You got this card of celebration, ceremony, party, gather with friends and family, honor, remember, recognize, commemorate, graduation, anniversary, wedding, prom, birthday, and award ceremonies. And anything that's coming through here, Leo, is the graduation. And considering we were just, you know, talking about this gnosis here, this wise judgment, and I do feel like that you are kind of going through maybe the sense of graduation in a way. You know, maybe for some we're actually graduating from school, like, or might be graduating, if not, maybe this next month, or we're at least thinking about that possibly. Or maybe this is for some, I do feel like that there is this sense of like this I don't know, it's like a personal graduation. It's just like we're getting ready to step into a new phase here. You know, we've leveled up in a sense. And this could be maybe someone presented us an opportunity, or maybe you've created your own opportunity for others, or something along those lines that I feel that is, yeah, it's just like it's taking you to that next step. You know, we're getting ready to get on to a new chapter. You know, we're going that full energy, jumping into something, I don't know, into something just, yeah, just something brand new here, and something really, I don't know, something really kind of exciting here, Leo. Just because even just thinking too, like when you think about like the Judgment Pluto and the Tower Mars, Pluto is a higher octave of Mars. So it's like you're starting to really come into your higher octave and really starting to tune into the energies in a way that's creating opportunities and growth for you here. But let's get your last tarot cards here. Thank you. All right, Leo, last little bit here. Let's put this over here. All right, Leo. So you have the Seven of Cups, the Ten of Swords, and then the Queen of Wands here. And let's switch back. Oh, let's switch back over. Because I feel like with this energy here, and the Ten of Swords feels like that we've been, maybe this is, you know, they're probably, and I mean with any journey, you know, there's going to be some challenges along the way. There's going to be, you know, some people that let us down, because this can be a card of betrayal. And not to say that you're going to be betrayed, but there might be moments where we feel that, you know, maybe the universe has betrayed us, or maybe other people have like let us down and things along those lines. But I feel with the Seven of Cups, that's not going to restrict your options. I feel that there are going to be more things for you that, again, it may not be exactly as you planned, but I don't feel like it's going to take away from the excitement here. If anything, I feel like it's going to be something that might even invigorate you a little bit more and get you more kind of pumped here with the Queen of Wands. This is another, for me, this is one of Aries cards here. But I am getting this energy with the Queen of Wands about being mindful about celebrating too soon, you know, making sure that things seem kind of locked in maybe before we make any sort of announcements and things along those lines. Because, like, you know, just like when we're talking about the uncertain outcome, the letdown, maybe legal matters and stuff, it's, life happens, changes happen, but don't let that deter you or let that dishearten you or anything. Keep that drive. You know, the Queen of Wands, she's the type that, okay, this didn't work as my plan, but like she still has her goal in mind. And again, it's just like, all right, we just pivot. we gotta get a little creative in the mix. But that's the Queen of Wands bread and butter right there. She's like, life would be boring otherwise if things went according to plan. Where's the fun in that, Leo? And I feel like that's going to be kind of the mentality that's coming through for you over this, probably at least this next month, you know, like a sort of like a paradigm shift. It's just like, I feel like we're just, instead of just like dreading the challenges, we welcome them. It's just like, oh, okay, you think you can keep me down, universe? Bet. Let me show you what's up. Let me show you all this sun energy that's happening here, Leo. Because I do feel like your sign, you know, you can bring it. You know, when you really need to. Because I'll tell you what, Leo, I did a bunch of readings yesterday. Man, I cranked because I got some opportunities that I'm thinking about in the mix. And being able to, I'm not a Leo sun, I'm Cancer, but I got a stack of Leo. And I know when I'm motivated like that, that's all that Leo, that fire that's coming through. So I feel like let these situations drive you. You know, use that frustration, that fuel to figure out, all right, calm yourself, get zen, and how can we channel this energy constructively? You know, how can we get to where we are celebrating? And maybe this is something too, you know, like dealing with all this stuff along the way, take some time to celebrate there, Leo. You know, like appreciate your graduation and the times that, even like the little victories, because it's those little victories that leads to that sunlight, that happiness, that win, that chariot. You know, you buying yourself, I don't know, husband, you buying yourself a new chariot. But just something to think about there, Leo. But I think I'm gonna leave that there. I like that, Leo. It's a very exciting month for you. If you like that, give it a thumbs up and share this. You know, just get these Leos pumped up, because I do feel like this is going to be a very good month for hopefully for growth for you there, Leo, and for kind of seeing things in a new light there. And then if you haven't already there, Emperor, subscribe, hit that bell button to get notified when I release videos each week. And then lastly, Leo, I know you want to come over to my other channel so bad, coming up here with the hottest ticket. Not that you need it. Again, all the Cancers, mine are Arcana cards too, so that was another little plus there. 2, 3, 4 cups. But if you have any Cancer in your play, you don't need any of those cards. But if you have any Cancer in your placement, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, come on over to the Sheridan, friends. I do videos Monday through Friday there. We discuss lunar shenanigans, and it's a good old time. And all the housekeeping, it's down in the description box below. But let me get your surprise cards here, so I can get you out of here, Leo. I like that. You got the 6 of Cups. And with the Six of Cups being here, Leo, I do feel like that there is going to be, I'm feeling that it's like someone is going to present you with something, or that there's going to be something, that some information that people are going to share with you, or maybe there's this opportunity, or maybe even like it might not be even something directly for you, but maybe hearing about someone else's thing, like, oh, just got something where someone shared this thing with me, and it's just like it may inspire you to just like, oh, I never thought to tap into a resource like that, maybe. And yeah, that's interesting. There's something here I feel like is going to be shared with you, or like it's, whether it's like through an actual opportunity or through some news or something like that, Leo, that's going to really kind of change how you either go about doing things, or very interesting. But let me get your oracle card here so I can get you out of here. Thank you. All right, let's see what's going on here. Interesting. All right, so you got the third card here, which is the between worlds. And that's fascinating, Leo, because I do feel like for some, it's like we're getting ready. It's like that graduation. It's like maybe we've had there might be a period of time where there might be some delays and things along those lines. And it's just like, when do we get to that sunlight, get to where things are brighter? But I feel like it's going to be one of those things that it may be subtle, that we won't notice it at first until we're on the other side of it. It's just going to be those. And that's what I was saying with like the graduation, to like appreciate those little wins along the way. So when the big one come through, they just hit differently. It's just like, then we're just like abundance, because the third card is Empress energy. And but I am feeling too, just again with like kind of with that gnosis type of energy, like, 'cause that white rabbit is it's very spiritual card. I am feeling that for some there is this, I feel like we're going to be operating in a more intuitive way here soon. And I feel like that, pay attention to, again, however you connect with with source, because I feel like that's really going to help you to navigate these uncertain times with ease, and may be able to transition through this. When the hard times are coming through, we were prepared, and then when the sunlight comes through, we're celebrating and basking in it until it's time to get back to work again there, Leo. So I'm gonna leave that there, but you stay safe out there, Leo. All these opportunities and things coming your way, potential square situations. Just be safe there, Leo. Legal matters, if anything, are coming up there. You raise your vibration through the roof, because I feel like there's gonna be some. I mean, you're graduating there, Leo. You're growing. Something's cooking, and I will get you on the next one. Later.